What's up guys, Dan here, and I am coming to you today with a special edition video. So now we're only a few days out from the start of the 2023 Sailing World Championships. So these are the once every 4 years worlds where all of the Olympic classes come together to have their World Championship in one event. And this year they will be taking place in The Hague in the Netherlands. So I am going to do a prediction video for who I think will win the ILCA 6 and ILCA 7 World Championships in The Hague next week. So The Hague is a city in the Netherlands which is situated on the North Sea, and as we can see here on the map, it is very exposed, so the conditions there are known for very big waves and a lot of current. And as I'm already seeing in a number of videos on Facebook and Instagram from sailors who are there, the waves are definitely big. So before we get into the predictions for the regatta, one of the most important things we're going to do is take a look at the weather forecast for the racing. So as we can see here in the sailing instructions, the racing for the ILCA 6 and ILCA 7 is divided up into three kind of blocks of racing. So they have the first 3 days on the 13th to the 15th of August, which will be the qualifying, then a day off, followed by the 17th and 18th of August, which will be the final series, and then a day off on the 19th, followed by the medal race on the 20th. So now that we've seen the schedule for the regatta, let's take a look at the weather forecast and note that this is more than a week out from racing, so the weather forecast obviously will change in the time before racing starts. But looking at it now, it seems like on the first day of racing on the 13th, it'll sort of be more of moderate, 12 to 15 knots. The next 2 days are going to be light, day off, and then the 2 days of the final series will be moderate again, so another 12 to 18 knots on both days. And then the medal race is looking like another light day of racing. So for the predictions for this video, we are going to go through who I think will be in the top 3 for the event, and then I will also name a wildcard sailor who I think could have a really good event here, but is probably not on everyone's radar. So let's start off with the ILCA 7 fleet, and in the top 3 I have Michael Beckett from the UK, Matt Wern, Olympic gold medalist from Australia, and Elliot Hansen, also from the UK. And as the wildcard sailor, I have named Duco Boss, the local boy from the Netherlands. So starting off with Michael Beckett, he has been at the top of the fleet for the last 2 years, and this season in particular, he already won the Princess Sophia Trophy in Palma. He was second at the Hague event, and also second at the Olympic test event, after leading the regatta for every day up until the medal race. Mickey is also a sailor who has the ability to perform across a range of wind and swell conditions, so I think he is going to perform well again here in The Hague. And next on the list is Olympic gold medalist Matt Wern. He seems to have been coming into form this year, with his results improving from event to event, capping off with a win at the Olympic test event last month, where he stole the show at the medal race on the final day. And in particular, the conditions in The Hague should suit Werney very well. He trains in Sydney Harbour a lot, which is a spot which has very messy swell conditions and a lot of tide, similar to what we're expecting in The Hague. And finally, for our top 3, we have Elliot Hansen from the UK. He has won the Hague event this year, and on top of that, with his teammate Mickey Beckett performing so well this year, I expect that Elliot's going to be feeling the pressure to perform at the Worlds this year in order to stay in the race for the Olympic selection. So I expect that he'll be able to pull out a good result when it counts. And finally, for my wild card for this regatta, I have got Duco Boss from the Netherlands. This is a sailor who has been really coming into form this year, achieving a number of top 10s at all of the big events. And being a local boy, he's trained in the conditions a lot in The Hague. I expect that he'll feel very comfortable and be able to perform when it matters. And now for the ILCA 6 fleet, I think there will be no surprises when it comes to our top 3. In the top 3, I have homegirl Marit Bouwmeester from the Netherlands, Anne-Marie Rindum, the Olympic gold medalist from Denmark, and Emma Plashut from Belgium. And for the wildcard selection, I have Hannah Snellgrove from the UK. I think my first pick for the ILCA 6 fleet would be on everyone's list for this top 3. We have the 3-time Olympic medalist Marit Bouwmeester from the Netherlands. She has been on incredible form this year, winning nearly every event she's competed in, including the Palma Regatta, the European Championships, and the Olympic test event last month. And I think she deservedly belongs in this top 3 list. Next up on the list, we have Olympic gold medalist Anne-Marie Rindum. Although she might not be quite at the form she's had in the past, I do think she has the ability to peak when it matters, and she has achieved a number of podium results this year, including a 2nd at last month's Olympic test event, and I think we are definitely going to see her in the top 3 as well. This 3rd sailor on the list was a little bit harder to pick than the other 2, but I have gone with Emma Plashut from Belgium. She has a very strong track record at the World Championships, and not to mention she is also from a spot in Belgium which has very similar conditions to what we can expect in The Hague, and I expect that she will be very comfortable and be sailing very fast in those conditions. Finally, as my wildcard pick for the ILCA 6 fleet, I have Hannah Snellgrove from the UK. I want to give a quick shout out to Sarah Douglas from Canada. She nearly got this spot, but after winning the Hague event this year, I don't think she quite counts as a wildcard anymore. So I don't know Hannah personally, but from what I hear, I think she is a very technically strong sailor and also very level-headed on the race course. And I think those are 2 traits which are going to be crucial in The Hague. And so I expect that she could surprise a number of people at this event. So that's it for my predictions for this regatta. I think this is going to be a fascinating regatta to watch, with both a strange format that most of the sailors aren't used to, so having the days off in between racing, and obviously all of the classes coming together, which adds a whole nother element to the event, alongside very tricky wind, tide, and wave conditions, which will make the racing very, very tricky. And so I'll put a link to the regatta website and the results down below. Let me know in the comments what you think about my predictions, and feel free to share who you have in your top 3. And if you like this video, please make sure to give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel.